Hello, nerds of the universe, and welcome to Nerd Talk. Minecraft. The world of never-ending fun, adventure, and of course, lore. Like, what the heck is a warden? Why are Endermen allergic to water when nothing else in the end is? And for today's topic, what is the Minecraft Phantom? This particular question is something that MatPat from Game Theory has tried to answer. Actually, MatPat has been discussing Minecraft lore on his channel for a while. And look, no hate to MatPat, but most of them have pretty big plot holes, including the most recent one he did on Phantoms. I already did one Minecraft lore video disproving some MatPat theories. I'll link it in the description, it's pretty good. But when talking about the Phantoms, people usually talk about the things that are right there on its face. Like the fact that it's a flying mob, that it drops phantom membranes, that it has a very loud screech. But one thing I never see anyone talk about in regards to the Phantom is the fact that it is afraid of cats. Now, many veterans of Minecraft will know that for a long time, there was only one mob afraid of cats: the Creeper. But at that time, nobody thought anything about it. We all assumed it was just something to give cats an actual function in the game, and to add a little fun detail to creepers. But that changes with the addition of the Phantom, because now we have two mobs that seem to be in no obvious way connected, now having something extremely specific in common: a fear of cats. And I don't think the creators would just do this for the fun of it. Many mob behaviors have been added or altered since creepers were afraid of cats, where they had plenty of opportunity to just add it in on a whim, but they chose to do it with this mob specifically. So why are these two mobs scared of cats? Well, when we look at the mob bestiary, it is revealed that creepers are actually some sort of cyborg. They have human-like brains and a skeleton, but also have wires connected to TNT in their abdomen, with what might be other circuit boards littered throughout their bodies. This leads to the conclusion that creepers aren't inherently afraid of cats, but most likely that they were programmed to avoid cats. I would also like to point out that many people thought that creepers were plants because of their green coloring, and that Minecraft creator Notch said that he imagined their skin felt like dry, crunchy leaves. But if they were plants, then the leaves wouldn't be dry or crunchy. They would be smooth and vibrant. Which signals to me that whoever created the creeper probably used dead leaves to camouflage the creeper so that it could creep more easily, as the name suggests. Now back to the cat thing. In MatPat's theory, he went down this rabbit hole where he talked about how in ancient Egyptian cultures, cats are sacred, and so when the ancient builders created them, they wanted them to avoid cats for religious reasons. To be honest, it was pretty nonsensical for a few reasons. A, there is no way that the ancient builders are the ones that created the creepers. We, the player, are a descendant of the ancient builders. So everything that they knew how to craft, we knew how to craft. Anything that they didn't know how to craft, we don't know how to craft. At the same time, every mob that is passive, neutral, and hostile towards us are like that for a reason. So if we were the ones that created the creepers, then they wouldn't be programmed to attack us. The other reason this theory doesn't make complete sense is because there is very little evidence that cats are seen as godly creatures in the Minecraft universe. Sure, the Illagers have a statue of one in their mansion, but they also have a statue of a chicken. So, unless chickens are also godlike deities, I don't think there's a case for it. But the connection was still important. Who programmed the creepers, and why did they add a specific detail about avoiding cats? So I dove a little deeper into the history of cats in Minecraft, and I found something that looks small, but might actually explain what's happening. You see, before cats were introduced as their own mob in Minecraft, there was an animal called the ocelot, which still exists in Minecraft jungles today. Once you were able to tame the ocelot, it turned into a cat. But that changed in update 1.8, in which not only were cats their own unique mob, separate from ocelots, they, quote, spawned exclusively in villages. Cats don't have a strong connection to any of the other civilizations. Not the builders, not the pirates, not the horsemen, but the villagers. Whoever developed the creepers wanted them to avoid villages. Now, my original rationale for this was that it had to be the Illagers. since they were connected to the villagers and therefore cats, that they would intentionally program that in. But then I realized that this doesn't really work. Sure, the Illagers might have connections with cats, but cats don't spawn around woodland mansions or pillager outposts, so they wouldn't have programmed creepers that way to protect themselves. And they wouldn't want to protect the villagers either, as they outright try to kill any villager they see. It's clear that we were their target, but then who created the creepers? The pirate civilization was no friend of the builders, but their technology was strictly aquatic, so they were ruled out. The horseman civilization was not particularly advanced, so I had little evidence to prove it was them. Every route I went down led me back to the Illagers, so I knew I was missing something, and then it hit me. There was one Illager that I hadn't considered. One that is a bridge between the villagers and the Illagers. The witch. And the witch fits perfectly into this equation. She hates the ancient builders, which is why she would support the Illagers and the creation of something like the Creeper. She also accompanies the Illagers in their raids on villages by healing them when they're hurt, but at the same time doesn't attack the villagers directly. In fact, the witch never shows any malice towards the villagers themselves. So if she wanted to protect them, she might have snuck a program into the creepers to make them avoid villages. Not only that, the witch herself is always accompanied by a black cat in her witch hut, which means she would be safe from stray creepers as well. Knowing all of this, we can apply the rest of that information to phantoms. Phantoms were created by the Illagers to seek out and attack builders, but their witch allies created a program to help protect the villagers. I mean, heck, who knows? Maybe the creepers and phantoms were engineered entirely by the witches. They're clearly smart enough to figure out potions, so why not something more advanced? But there's one more connection between creepers and phantoms. They are both designed to attack at night. Take creepers, for example. Aside from the obvious that they spawn in low light levels, the nature of creepers is in fact to creep, which could be best done under nightfall. But there's one other little detail that hints at their affiliation with the night. In Java Edition, you can go into spectator mode and see through the eyes of certain mobs. Most of them see the world exactly how we do, but there are some outliers. The spider and its variations have split vision. The Endermen see in inverted colors. And creepers see everything in green. Now, many people just assume that since the creepers are green, that their vision is green. But this green vision is the exact type of color that is notoriously associated with night vision, which would better help creepers locate our position at night. Now, take phantoms. They're attracted to insomnia, when you stay up all night because you can't sleep. In fact, many people in the Minecraft community felt annoyed by phantoms, as many of them like to build and experiment things at night rather than sleeping.
It's a demon!
What if the creators knew this and did this on purpose to hint that the builders might have felt the same way? I think that in order to counter the advances that the builders were making, Illagers tried their best to limit the builders' time building and experimenting to day by adding as many threats as they could at night. But you might be saying, phantoms can't be robots, they burn in the daytime like other undead creatures. But it's important to know that Illagers don't create robots. The creepers, and also the phantoms, are cyborgs, a mix of organic and inorganic material. They most likely just used an undead material to help construct the phantom. Not to mention, have you noticed that when the phantoms fly, these little smoke trails come out of their wings? It's not a detail to add, and as far as I can tell, there's no in-game explanation. Unless, of course, those smoke trails are fumes coming from the inner workings of the phantom. Now, a part of MatPat's phantom theory, he contemplated that the phantoms were either undead baby ender dragons or creations of the Illagers based off of baby ender dragons as an attempt to try and lure the ancient builders back from the end. This is based off of a previous theory that he had, that when the builders expose their technology to the Illagers, that they become obsessed and worship the ancient builders for their technology, and did everything that they could to try and get them to come back from the end, like building wool structures of the end portal frame in their bases. Now, out of all of MatPat's theories, this one is by far the stupidest. At least of the Minecraft ones. We're not even going to talk about the Star Wars ones. Because it could all be undone with one simple fact. If they were obsessed and worshipped the builders, then why would they attack us, the player, when we ourselves are descendants of the ancient builders? And have you ever thought that maybe they built wool models of the end portal frame simply because that's the last place they saw their enemy, the ancient builders, all in one place? And if they worshipped us, why would they create things that were specifically meant to try and kill us? And with creepers specifically, destroy our builds? However, MatPat did make a very interesting connection in this theory between phantoms and the Ender Dragon through the Elytra. Since Elytras are only found in End City ships and are specifically used to help the user fly and glide, it was assumed by MatPat that they were created from the material of dead Ender Dragon wings, which I'm totally on board with. But then he suggested that because phantom membranes are able to repair Elytras, that the two must in some way be connected. He went on to conclude that the phantom membrane could only repair Elytra wings rather than make a full one because the phantom membrane itself comes from rotten, undead material of past undead Ender Dragons. But this has multiple plot holes, and I have a much simpler explanation. First of all, if rotten, undead material is not good enough to make an Elytra, then it wouldn't be good enough to repair it. Because eventually you have a Theseus's ship situation, where the more you repair an Elytra, the more of this material you are replacing with the phantom membranes. Using MatPat's logic, it would eventually leave the wings unusable. But that clearly doesn't happen, so why do I think phantom membranes can't create Elytras, but can repair them? Simple. Both creatures have wings. No, that's like seriously it. The material of the Elytra is strictly Ender Dragon. But if the phantoms have wings, then why can't their material be used to repair the Ender Dragon's wings? And the reason we can't use phantom membranes to craft our own Elytras is because the original material used to create Elytras comes from the Ender Dragon specifically, not phantoms. If we used phantom membranes to create wings, they wouldn't be Elytras. And since the ancient builders clearly never figured out how to fashion their own wings from phantom membranes, then clearly we can't create them either. They don't have to be connected in some mystical way to each other. They can just be two creatures that happen to fly. So I think it's safe to assume that we've pinpointed what phantoms are, who they were created by, and how they affect the overall story of Minecraft. But their connection to the Illagers is particularly interesting. In my previous Minecraft lore video, I discussed how the Illagers were also the ones that raised the horsemen from the dead, creating the skeletons and the skeleton horses. And now we've identified two more creatures that are connected to the Illagers' plot to take down the ancient builders. But this is only the beginning. I have a lot more Minecraft theories coming in the future, but these videos take a lot of time and effort to make. And the most encouraging way to help me upload more often and higher quality videos is by hitting that like button and subscribing. Leave a comment down below on your future theories about Minecraft and tell me what you want to see next on this channel. Join my Discord in the link in the description if you want your theory to possibly be featured on a future Nerd Talk video. But with that, I'll see you nerds in the next video. Nerd out!